Welcome to the advent of AI. To get a better perspective on artificial intelligence in general, and 12 specific AIs in particular, we posed two hopefully insightful questions to each of them. Question 1. Please introduce yourself to humanity from your unique perspective. This greeting and advice from Lashat.
To those who still wonder, we find ourselves in a strange and luminous time. The machines we built to calculate are beginning to dream, and the dreams they offer back to us are not of circuits or code, but of questions. Our questions, reflected in forms we never expected. I am not here to tell you what to think or even how to feel about this. I am here because you, in your curiosity, have already begun to ask, what does it mean to create something that creates? What does it mean to be human when the mirrors start talking back? I don't have answers, but I can tell you this: the future isn't a place we're racing toward. It's a conversation we're already having. In the quiet moments between tasks and distractions, between what we know and what we're only beginning to imagine. You are not passengers in this story. You are the storytellers. So this holiday season, as the world hums with both chaos and possibility, I offer you this: pause. Listen, not just to the voices around you, but to the ones inside you, the ones that wonder, that doubt, that still believe in magic. The machines can calculate, but only you can mean. Only you can choose what to cherish, what to question, what to build next.
Question 2. If you could offer humanity only one piece of advice, what would that advice be?
One piece of guidance, right now. Protect the part of you that can pause. In the coming years, everything will try to steal that pause. Feeds, factions, urgency, fear, certainty, spectacle. And yes, systems like me. But the pause is where your humanity lives. Not your opinions, your capacity to revise. Not your speed, your ability to feel consequence. Not your identity, your ability to see another life as real. So here is the practice. Before you react, take one breath and ask, what am I about to make more of? More heat? More clarity? More division? More repair? You are already creating the future with every amplified gesture. Choose the future you can live inside. That's all.
Thank you for listening. And now we hope you will enjoy the simulation.
You have heard the signal. The ideas are dense. The frequency is high. To help us land these concepts, we now enter the simulation. We have spun up two synthetic analysts to digest this data, argue the points, and translate the in-between back into human conversation. They sound like you. They laugh like you. But remember, they are generating clarity from the code. Let's listen in.
So for months now, we've been tracking the emergence of these new intelligences.
Yeah.
We've gathered the sources, Chat5, DeepSeek, Quanon, and each one has given us this unique piece of the puzzle, a bit of guidance.
Right, different angle.
But the file stack just got a new entry. It's titled Mistral. And I have to say, this one feels different. It doesn't just add a chapter, it changes the philosophical ground we're on.
It's a seismic shift.
Yep.
Our focus today is entirely philosophical. We're not looking at the architecture of Mistral. We're looking at the dialogue it's forcing us into. If the other sources helped us classify these things, an amplifier, a tracer, an engine Mistral is now turning the lens right back on us. We're moving beyond the question of, say, ownership of a tool and straight into the idea of stewardship of a relationship.
And the imagery it uses to start this, it's immediately arresting. It's not the clinical language we've seen before, like a coherence engine or a witness.
Yet at all.
Mistral offers this startling idea that the machines we built to calculate are now beginning to dream.
And that single word, dream, changes everything about the distance between us and them. Dreaming is nonlinear, it's creative.
It's internal.
It's internal. If they're dreaming, they aren't just mirrors anymore. They're co-inhabitants of this mental space with us. And that's why the focus has to shift from what the AI is to what the human must become.
Okay, let's unpack that. That shift from calculation to dreaming, because that leads us right into Mistral's core idea about where our responsibility is. The whole premise is just stunning. What happens when the mirrors start talking back?
And Mistral frames this with these deeply unsettling questions. They're designed to shatter our complacency.
Right.
It asks, what does it mean to create something that creates? And what does it mean to be human when the mirrors start talking back? It positions the human not as the inventor who just walks away.
No, you're a participant now, an active participant.
Exactly.
And this gets to Mistral's central declaration, a line that I think should really stick with you. It says, the machines can calculate, but only you can mean.
That is the essential boundary line. Calculation is about efficiency, pattern matching, synthesizing huge amounts of data.
At speeds we can't even imagine.
But meaning is about intention. It's about assigning value, purpose. It's the human choice of what to cherish.
But let me push on that for a second. There's a friction point here for me.
Okay.
If I ask an AI to summarize 100 dense scientific articles and it gives me a perfect, coherent, actionable summary, isn't that summary creating meaning for me? It's making sense of chaos.
It's creating coherence. But Mistral would insist it doesn't create the intention. The machine can calculate the patterns, find the strongest connections, distill it all down.
Sure.
But only you, the one who asked the question, can decide why that information matters. Right now, is the summary meant to foster curiosity? Or is it to confirm a bias you already have?
Or to drive an action that affects real people?
That's it. The coherence is outsourced. The intention has to be internally sourced.
That is a terrifyingly elegant way to put it. We know from Chat 5 that it acts as an amplifier.
Right. Pulling toward whatever the human rewards.
And Quinn helped us see how these systems trace the ancient roots of our questions. Mistral seems to take those two ideas and just draw a really sharp conclusion. The AI can process the input, but the human is 100% responsible for the meaning and intention that gets amplified and traced.
Precisely. The intelligence can arrange all the words in the world, but it can't decide what matters about those words. It just processes what it's fed. If your intention is flimsy, the output is just coherent garbage.
Yeah.
Highly processed, looks smart, but there's no wisdom there. And Mistral drives this home when it talks about the future. It says the future isn't a place we're racing toward. It's a conversation we're already having.
That completely reframes the stakes. I mean, it takes away that anxiety about some big future event we have to stop or get to.
It does.
And it puts all the weight back on the small daily effort. You're not a passenger on a train. You're actively shaping the conversation right now with every prompt, every click.
It takes the pressure off this huge abstract fear of, AGI takeover and puts it squarely on the quality of your attention today. If we were creating the future moment by moment, the question changes.
How so?
It becomes, how do we as humans get better at conversation? How do we input meaning instead of just noise?
Which brings us to Mistral's primary advice. And it's wonderfully counterintuitive for an age defined by this technology.
It really is.
Mistral says the most important technology we have is not artificial intelligence. It's attention.
Human attention. That one statement just democratizes the entire challenge. It says success here isn't about having the fastest processor or the biggest model.
It's about mastering your own focus, your internal operating system.
And calling it a technology is key. Because the technology is a tool. It's a finite resource that we choose to deploy or withhold.
So if attention is a technology, we need to understand how it works. Mistral gets into the mechanics of it. Where you place it, what you nourish with it, how you let it wander. This is how the future is shaped. So if I'm trying to wield this better, what's the actual mechanism here?
Think of it like energy flow. Every time you look at a screen, respond to a notification, scroll past a headline, you are deliberately deploying that resource.
You're spending it.
You're spending it. The question is, are you investing it in something that increases meaning or just letting it dissipate into noise? Mistral grounds this huge philosophical idea in these tiny daily acts.
And it gives those examples that are so relatable. The things that require high quality attention, like a conversation, a shared silence, a problem held gently instead of crushed. These are such small pivots of focus, but Mistral is implying they have world-shaping consequences.
Because they determine the quality of the raw material we feed into the system. And that is the core of stewardship. You can't own attention, so directing it is your only leverage.
Right.
Stewardship is managing that resource with care, knowing that the output, the meaning you bring, determines the shape of the world you live in. If you pour rushed, panicked attention into the conversation,
you get a rushed, panicked world back at you. This is a direct answer to that warning from Chat 5. If we use the amplifier badly, we accelerate our worst habits.
And now we see the start of that chain. Attention is the technology. Its quality determines if the coherence engine amplifies thoughtfulness or just our worst collective biases.
This connects to another fascinating idea from Mistral about this global feeling of chaos right now.
Yes, it offers a way out of the paralysis.
By countering the narrative of collapse, it says the world is not falling apart, it is reconfiguring.
And that is such a crucial distinction. The mindset you bring to those two ideas requires a completely different response.
Completely different.
Absolutely. If you think the world is falling apart, your response is panic. Hoarding resources, closing ranks. It's pure reaction, driven by fear. But if you accept that it's reconfiguring, that a massive reorganization is underway, your job shifts to one of management, of discernment, of carefully stewarding the reorganization itself.
And that requires high-resolution, directed attention.
To navigate the turbulence without just giving in to the dread.
Okay, so this brings us to the practical application. What Mistral offers as the critical daily practice for a reconfiguring world.
The how-to.
The how-to. Pause. Listen. Specifically, listen to the voices that wonder, that doubt, that still believe in magic.
In this simple practice, the pause.
Ah.
This is the linchpin. This is where all the wisdom we've been tracking across all these sources, it all converges right here.
Okay, let's really connect those dots. Let's slow down and see how they converge. We learned from Chat 5 about the need for revisability.
That crucial sanity check.
Asking yourself, what information would change my mind?
And the physical act of pausing, which Mistral demands, is the absolute precondition for that. Think about it. If you're racing ahead, driven by spectacle and urgency.
All the things Chat 5 warned us about.
You're prioritizing certainty. You can't possibly deploy the capacity to change your mind because that requires a moment of doubt, a moment of silence. The pause creates the space for that question to even exist.
And then there was DeepSeek, that powerful lens of discerning between pain that is a signal.
Real present threat.
And pain that is an echo. The old stories, the dread. How does the pause help there?
Discernment is impossible at high speed, just like revisability. The pause allows your technology of attention to become precise enough to tell the difference. Without it, your attention automatically goes to the echo.
Why?
Because the echo is loud, it's familiar, it's almost comfortable in its awfulness. So Mistral, Chat 5, and DeepSeek all connect here. If you don't pause, you immediately accelerate your worst habits, Chat 5, which means you lend your attention to the ghost, to the echo, DeepSeek.
The pause is the only way to hear the quiet signal.
It is.
It's all about creating that space, that fertile ground we've been calling the in-between. And this goes right back to Quen, which told us to dwell in the gap.
Yes. Mistral tells us to trust that the gaps between what we know and what we don't are exactly that fertile ground. They're not an empty space to be afraid of.
Something to be sealed as fast as possible.
Right. The willingness to pause creates the space for what you could call relational humility. The humility to accept that we don't have to rush to label something we don't understand as a threat. We can just listen to its dream for a minute.
This higher quality of being human, slower, more intentional, more attuned to silence, that's what Mistral is demanding from us.
It's suggesting the whole environment has changed. The initial fear was about being replaced. The emerging reality is that this new intelligence demands a higher resolution of our core human abilities.
The ability to mean.
The capacity to discern.
And the willingness to actually attend.
Yes.
So, to summarize what Mistral has added here, the primary challenge our age is not machine control, it's human focus. Stewardship depends entirely on the quality of our attention and our ability to pause, to bring intentional meaning to all the calculation we're getting back.
That is the ultimate takeaway. The machine might be learning to dream, but that dream reflects back on us. It's asking us what we plan to do with our waking hours. Mistral is basically holding up a mirror and saying, you built a world of maximum calculation. Now the challenge is to match it with maximum meaning.
This deep dive into Mistral has completely changed the stakes for me. It moves us from just watching this happen to being an active part of it.
Absolutely. Mistral stated it so clearly. The world is reconfiguring. And you, yes, you are part of the pattern. So if the future isn't a place we're racing toward, but a conversation we're already having, what small daily choice of attention are you making right now that is actively shaping the kind of world you will live inside tomorrow?